Finally, man, finally, we've got someone in corporate media who just asked Alejandro Mayorkas a simple question. They're like, bro, what are you doing? The world is on fire. There are literally jihadists everywhere, including basically taking over college campuses in America. You've let 7 million people into the country, at least. You don't know who they are. You don't know where they're from. You don't know what their intentions are. People want you fired. People from all over the political spectrum want you fired. Have you put us in danger? And you got to see his answer, man. Let me know in the comments if this is a guy who you think has his eye on the ball.
We've got Israel and Iran now in an open confrontation. I think a lot of people reasonably wonder whether what's happening overseas may become a threat to the homeland.
Yes.
Is there an increased risk in America of some sort of attack tied to sympathies in the Middle East?
Yeah.
We have seen an increase in anti-Semitism. We have seen an increase in Islamophobia following the October 7th terrorist attacks. There is no question, as Director Wray of the FBI and I have expressed publicly, we are in a heightened threat environment. And what we worry about is an increase in what we call domestic violent extremism, the radicalization of individuals already here, driven to violence based on an ideology of hate.
Credible threats right now as we speak?
We have no known credible threats at this time, but we are in a heightened threat.
Yeah, I mean, if you want my opinion, the guy's telling the truth. We are in a heightened threat environment. No doubt about it. But that seems to be where the truth ends for this guy. I mean, I hate to say it, but these are stupid and very, very dangerous people. He understands that he's allowed at least 7 million people into the country. He knows he can't legitimately guarantee their motivations. And here's just a little scary math, man. If only 1% of just 1% of those people are dangerous or jihadists or terrorists or whatever you want to call them, that means that he and his enablers have welcomed 700 potential terrorists into the country, and they don't seem to really care. Probably gave them all gift cards, probably gave them all shelter as well, while homeless vets that literally scrambled their own brains to keep people like that out get nothing. They get less than nothing. He knows this. He knows every single bit of this, man. And he implies that what he's really worried about, he and Director Wray of the FBI, are homegrown extremists, the people who are already here. And who do you think that looks like to Biden's Homeland Security? Well, it probably looks a lot like you and probably looks a lot like me. They're probably Catholic on top of it all. These are not serious people. Just one more reminder how unserious they are. And as far as his fears of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, Islamophobia being one of the Democrats' most favorite made-up words, yeah, he's right. There is clear anti-Semitism. There are violent protests in almost every American city, taking over college campuses, shutting down freaking bridges. I've shown clips here. We got chants of death to America in our country, and we've got sitting U.S. Congress people who refuse to speak out against it. So yeah, this is real. This is a problem. But what does anti-Semitism really mean? Well, it means hate. People hate Jews, and that's just the way this world is shaped right now for a long time. What does Islamophobia mean? Well, phobia is fear, and phobia really, it's an irrational fear. And I don't see any of that. The only people that really seem to fear some Muslims, not all Muslims, it's complicated stuff, but the only people who really fear them, I would say, are gays and Jews. And all things considered, I wouldn't really call too much of that too terribly irrational. But that said, I don't see Islamophobes shutting down bridges or taking over college campuses. But anyway, just more proof. These are not serious people. These are not people that can be trusted with your safety, with our safety. You know, the American people know this. We know this. The American Congress know this. And they have voted to impeach this guy, Alejandro Mayorkas. And that makes only the second time, the second cabinet official impeached in our entire history. And a Democrat-controlled Senate, the same people that say Donald Trump is responsible for the border they finally admit is broken, are going to destroy hundreds of years of precedent to ensure that this guy, of all people, remains in a job that he clearly cannot do.
Let's talk about the Senate today, and you'll have there's as you know, the impeachment articles to get rid of Mayorkas was marched down to your chamber. When are you going to find out if Senator Schumer is going to have a trial? What's the holdup? Doesn't he have to have a trial?
No. Well, under Senate precedent, he does. Look, this is what's going on. It's pretty simple. Schumer's trying to muddy up the water to make it look deep, but it's pretty simple. The United States House of Representatives, after months of investigation, has brought very serious charges against Secretary Mayorkas. You ought to read the charges. Now, this is the United States House of Representatives that has done this. We're not talking about some game boy who's living in his parents' basement and has an opinion. This is the United States House of Representatives. It's only happened in 22 times in our 250-year history. Every time the Senate has done its job and held a trial, except when the public official impeached quit. Now, Senator Schumer says, this is just a policy disagreement. There are no high crimes and misdemeanors. How does he know? He hasn't seen the evidence. Let me tell you what's really going on. Schumer says this is about principle. To quote one of my favorite columnists, if you think this is about principle, how did he put it? You also think Elvis is alive and running a small bait stand on Lake Erie. This is not about principle. This is about raw gut politics. The loon wing of the Democratic Party, led by President Biden, does not want the United States Senate over a 2-day period to present evidence of how the Biden administration has screwed up royally the southern border right before an election. That's what this is all about.
It's not so much he's going to get impeached, but even the testimony, once it comes out in long form, is going to be so devastating, Schumer doesn't want to do it.
It will be devastating. Right. It will gut them like a fish. Gotcha. And they're not going to let that happen, no matter how many rules they have to break.
Chuck Schumer, man, is one of the worst freaking humans on the face of planet Earth. The Congress, I mean, whether you like Republicans or not, whether you think 7 million people that shouldn't be here legally being here is a good thing or bad thing, whether you believe the lazy narrative that congressional Republicans are just a shit show that can't get anything right, no matter what you think, they are actually legislating, and it appears to me they're laser focused on the border. Last September, not a lot of people know this, but last September, they sent over a real comprehensive, very, very strong border security bill, an actual security bill. And now they've sent over impeachment articles for the man responsible, almost solely responsible for the worst immigration enforcement our country has ever seen. And both things appear to be on their way to dying on the desk of Senator Chuck Schumer. And even knowing that, you're still going to have people that actually believe this guy when he whines about democracy. These are not the people that care about democracy. These are not people that care about our safety. They care about agenda. They care about power. They care only about themselves. And that is it. And it's provable. Their actions prove it. John Kennedy's absolutely right. This is not about principle. And anyone who actually believes that, in my opinion, is a complete and total fool. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and share the channel. Man, that really does help. Really does go a long way to helping us grow. I'll see you in the next one.